Game on!
A man who we know is an expert at finding ways to win. The term you've coined, Dan, is wading, but he'll need something more than wading here, wanting to stop Michael van Gerwen, who has averaged over 103 in every match. The last couple have been over 109.
Well, we have seen Michael van Gerwen dominant in some of these Euro Tours. He's won 22 of them. There are ones where he's won, I think the best he's had, he's won while only losing something like 8 legs over the course of the entire tournament. This tournament 2 years ago when he won it, he only dropped 12. Now he's dropped 11 legs already. But for my money, this might be the most impressive of all his Euro Tour victories if he performs to the standard he's been doing all this weekend in this final and wins it. Because the tournament average is in the stratosphere and he has had to deal with incredible displays. Alan Tabben gave him problems.
140.
Darren Webster pushed him all the way, taking out massive checkouts. Dave Chisnell averaged almost 108. But Wadey,
130.
Well, Wadey has left tops.
But MVG wants 86 to break straight away. The 11th darter, superb stuff. He's carrying on where he's left off.
Michael to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, Chisnell 108 to finish the story of his route to the final. And then Michael Smith was gone in 606 seconds.
125.
10 minutes and 6 seconds it took MVG to dispatch of Michael Smith 7-0. And he performed slightly better than that 109.54 average against Chisnell. As Wade fires in his first match. Just a shade over that in the semi-final for MVG.
59.
James Wade has been knocking on the door. They've met in a final this year already on the floor, but he hasn't beaten Michael van Gerwen for some time.
Yeah, a long while. 2 years.
100.
It's an unlucky 13-match streak for James Wade without a win against Michael van Gerwen. The last one came in Auckland, as you said, and a couple of years ago, but the last ranking one came in a semi-final of a European Tour event, the European Match Play in Hamburg, and James Wade went on to lift that title.
125.
He did, and that was the last time that James Wade lifted a PDC title. It has been a long wait,
95.
but we've been saying for a while that James Wade has been threatening to claim another. We could have seen this final a couple of times already on the Euro Tour this year. Twice in semi-finals, Peter Wright has beaten James Wade, denying him a chance to take on MVG in the final.
140.
I did wonder if we were going to see a 180 to the double one there from MVG. He's been doing some outrageous stuff, including a 10-dart leg on the bullseye in the semi-final against the Bully Boy. This is a big dart already
35.
for the machine.
42.
And the green machine has been in punishing mood.
Yes, on the second leg, Michael van Gerwen. The leg is James to throw first.
We mentioned his dominance in this tournament. He's been pretty dominant in 2018 so far, Michael van Gerwen. He's won 9 of the 15 tournaments that he's entered. If you look at the match stats for all the games that he's played, Michael van Gerwen has a win percentage of more than 90%.
Astonishing numbers from Michael van Gerwen. And he fires in his first 180 in this one. Look at these two's records in finals.
140.
Michael van Gerwen has won 20 finals in a row. The last time he was beaten in a final was by Gary Anderson at the Dubai Darts Masters in May last year. So it's pretty much a year. But he's been in 20 finals since then and won every single one of them. The last ranking final he lost
100.
was here in Sindelfingen to Peter Wright last year when he was done 6-0. And James Wade has never beaten Michael van Gerwen in a final.
Well, that might just set him on his way. James Wade taking out 121 on the bullseye.
Well, he may have to produce more stuff like that. In fact, he's
97.
pretty much nailed on. He's going to have to produce more stuff like that over the course of this match. Darren Webster was taking out big finishes. Alan Tabban was taking out big finishes. Dave Chisnell was hitting an enormous number
96.
of big scores against Michael van Gerwen. And on every occasion, Van Gerwen just had a little bit more than his opponent. You can see Wade, who's just
140.
flapping his arms about there. He knows he needs to summon up something special. He has got it in his locker. We know. We've seen it. You remember that
60.
incredible game at the World Grand Prix with Robert Thornton, where they both hit 9 darters and both ended up averaging around about 104 in a double start format.
174.
Well, that was one of the tournaments where Wade went on to lose to MVG in the final, wasn't it?
It was.
They've met in a match play final before.
135.
MVG.
Michael Levick 90.
Eyes up 90. Doesn't clean it up, but it probably won't matter. Of course, one of the most famous meetings was that World Championship semi-final where Michael van Gerwen almost fired in back-to-back 9-dart finishes. A glimpse of the kind of stuff that was to come from MVG.
Michael Levick 12. James on the fourth leg, Michael van Gerwen.
Well, in the tournaments that we've seen on the Euro Tour, and at times in the Premier League, when he hasn't been putting in the dominant displays,
100.
many of those times he's still been getting results. Those kind of visits, he's been missing 3 clear darts at double.
Yeah.
And that's why it meant so much to him
57.
to land that one then, and he let James Wade know about it.
Yeah, you know when Michael van Gerwen is focused. You can just tell in the reactions. You saw against Michael Smith, he was just having fun up there. He felt that the game was won, but against Darren Webster there were some big celebrations because he was pushed and admitted as much.
140.
James Wade is quite capable of pushing Michael van Gerwen. He's averaging 112. But at the minute, Van Gerwen has got his nose in front. And we know that Van Gerwen, when he builds up a head of steam, he's very, very difficult to stop. You need 12 darters. Wade has produced 1.
100. James Levick 121.
Well, he did it by taking out 121. That time he opted for
81.
a different route because he checked the scoreboard and was surprised to see that Michael van Gerwen for once was not on a finish.
120.
He's on 1 now.
James Levick 40.
Double top.
James on the
Very good from James Wade. And we're seeing a bit of aggression from Wadey now.
Game on.
James Wade has said a couple of times this weekend that with him about to become a dad, it's put things in perspective. And he said this game doesn't
100.
mean as much. Obviously, it doesn't mean as much as becoming a dad for the first time, but it still means a lot. And after months where he was
100.
his throw had changed. He was hopping up on a front foot. He wasn't getting the results. He kept losing last leg deciders. He was throwing averages in the 70s on occasion. James Wade, unheard of for the machine. But you can tell that he's enjoying playing the game again. And that is such a big part of this for James Wade. A happy Wade is a dangerous
41.
Wade.
Well, his route to the final included upsetting the German crowd, beating Max Hopp, their
140.
hero, in the first round on Friday, then wins against John Henderson and the world champion Rob Cross. That, according to the numbers, his best performance, but the only one that went all the way down to a last leg decider.
125.
And then more comfortable victories in the quarters and semis against Whitlock and Danny Noppert.
Oh my. Oh my.
On the stick leg.
Michael van Gerwen. 161 on the bullseye. This weekend, he has done precisely what he wants. Whether that is
125.
firing 11 and 12 darters to come from behind against the likes of Webster, or just go out on the bull for 10 darters,
100.
just demonstrating his complete dominance against Michael Smith.
Focus etched on the face of the world number one, as he looks to pile it in and pile it on.
180!
2 180s now for MVG. And 2 for James Wade as well. And it gets him to a finish, but he's just having to hit these huge scores to try and tread water.
140.
Well, that 140 means he might have to hit another one here to hang on to his throw. He's not going to do it. Van Gerwen will return. If he can go out
82.
in a dozen darts,
81.
it's 5-2. And throw in to increase it further.
69.
Well, double 12 missed for a 12 dart leg.
54.
And James Wade let off the hook.
First little slip from MVG. And it is punished by James Wade.
He thinks Michael to throw
And
the
it's
first.
only a hold of throw.
And again, he gives it a little bit after. Pumped up. Both players going at it.
140.
The matches against James Wade have been a real reflection of the rise of Michael Van Gerwen. We always knew that he had the capability when he burst onto the scene as a youngster.
123.
Won the World Masters. But in the PDC, it was really the match play in the big tournaments, the match play at Blackpool in 2012. When Van Gerwen was firing in darts like that, hit a 9-darter against Steve Beaton, went on to be beaten by James Wade in the next round. Then their next meeting was that World Championship semi-final when Michael Van Gerwen won, and since then he's just motored on. As Wade was going to be the next best player when Phil Taylor hung up his darts, wasn't he?
Well, he was the second most decorated player in PDC history behind Phil Taylor for quite some time. But he's been superseded
98.
by Gary Anderson and by Michael Van Gerwen.
It's on the 8th leg, Michael Van Gerwen. I think it's James to throw
Well,
first.
you might have heard another roar there from MVG as he retrieved his darts. Having got that early advantage, Michael Van Gerwen is still making it count. Unable to quite shake off James Wade yet. But if he carries on serving it out,
60.
he will be the first man to be crowned champion on that stage on more than one occasion.
Well, James Wade, the 2
81.
semi-finals he made on the Euro Tour at the start of the year, he played fantastically in both, and it took world-class stuff from Peter Wright to deny him. He's playing fantastically here. He's averaging 109. I mean, this is wonderful. But MVG is just finding another way. He could be throwing 110 averages for 3 consecutive games.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and he has improved somehow every round. It is on course to continue that progression here.
139.
It just does not stop. Look at that. And just underline it, Van Gerwen, as a seeded player, you play an unseeded player in your opening game. That's a given. But then he faced the number 16 seed, which is as the seeding works out, then the number 8, which is as the seeding works out, and then the number 4. And that is another superb visit from MVG. So, and they've all played well against him. It couldn't have got any tougher for Michael Van Gerwen.
28.
They went the field through the kitchen sink at Van Gerwen,
On the 9th leg,
and he's gone to the bathroom and got the bath and got all the plumbing and just chucked it right back at him. And he's doing it to James Wade now.
Yep, James Wade in deep water now, and could soon be sinking without a trace. It is just relentless from Michael Van Gerwen, has been all weekend. Looking for a 10th title of the year.
100.
We're hoping to add to it when he has his homecoming tournament at the Dutch Darts Masters next weekend, and then it will be the Premier League playoffs. A tournament that Michael Van Gerwen in 6 attempts has never failed to make the final.
I'm going to reiterate.
60.
This, I believe, is going to turn into the best European Tour victory we have ever seen in the 6 years of this tour having been created since we started streaming it 5 years ago. There have been more dominant displays with fewer legs lost.
121.
But nobody has produced this standard and gone up against such high quality in opposition. And it's double-double, is it?
54.
It was, but he couldn't find the second double. Only 14 players in the PDC have ever beaten Van Gerwen in a final.
Finish on the 10th leg.
And Van Gerwen is one leg away from making sure that number does not increase. And in the last 2 years, only 3 people have beaten Van Gerwen in finals. Peter Wright here in Sindelfingen last year. The other 2, Gary Anderson and Phil the Power Taylor. Nobody else has been able to do it. Not even James Wade.
140.
Yeah, we're digging around for other statistics, other lines, other ways to describe how dominant, how relentless
43.
Michael Van Gerwen is. The man is a winning machine. I'm not sure there are quite the words there to describe it.
140.
Well, this is why other top players in other sports, the likes of Ronnie O'Sullivan, have called Michael Van Gerwen the best sports person on the planet. In their chosen discipline, there are not many out there who can touch MVG.
81.
I know he's not the world champion, but he is the world #1 and £1 million clear on the order of merit, despite the fact he's not the world champion, where it's by far the biggest prize in the game.
He was really, really angry with himself there to not leave a finish, Michael Van Gerwen. He expects perfection, and that is one of the big reasons why he does win so much. So hungry for success.
58.
And when he returns to the hockey, he will have the chance to wrap it up. And you know what? You might fancy wrapping it up in style.
93.
Bullseye first dart.
115.
It was. Well, he was looking at 50 and a 25 to leave tops, but I think he would have gone bull 15 bull, given the chance. Wadey, treble 18. Will not get a dart at bull to stay alive, and that might be that to complete one of the most, if not the most, magnificent Euro Tour wins in history. Double 8. The world #1 claims a 23rd Euro Tour.
Grand Prix
110 average for the 3rd game running. He actually increased his average from the semis. It has got better and better and better all week.